Well, good evening, everyone. It's good to be with you all this evening. My name is Preston Sharpe. For those of you I haven't met, I'm the pastor of Sacrament Church. We meet on Sundays downstairs in this space, and we're just really thankful to be together this evening. Paul and I were just saying, Pastor Paul and I, right before this, about just how we're always so thankful whenever we're able to be together, and feels like kind of extended family reunions get together, and so we're thankful for that. Tonight is a little different than any service that we do all year in any church setting. Tonight we mark the moments right before and we mark the moment of Christ's death. As we notice throughout the Gospels, really all of Jesus' life and teachings point in this direction. Jesus is consistently on a journey to the cross. We see that his kingship, his leadership, is different than any of the kings or leaders of the world. And that is what causes so much conflict, is that this is something altogether unexpected, a kingdom that centers on God's self-giving love. Especially in Luke's gospel, we see this theme of the violence of the world, everything that's broken about the world kind of taking its full force on the person of Jesus Christ. And so we see the reality of suffering. Suffering is a real part of the Christian faith and the Christian story. We're not a faith or a story that runs away from suffering, or even worse, pretends like it doesn't exist. We realize that in this life that is broken, in this world that's broken, that there is suffering. And so we wrestle with that, and we bring all that we are, and the truth and the hope of the Christian faith is that we're not alone in our suffering, that Christ walked the journey of the cross, and he walks with us in the midst of that pain. So tonight we do enter into this. Many of you know Easter Sunday is a big celebration. It will be a big celebration. But tonight we step in the midst of that darkness and that pain, and we are thankful and we walk in solidarity with those in our world who suffer. So in our service tonight, the whole service is going to be readings and songs. So there's no sermon. We're not receiving communion together. Historically, the church has not done this receive communion on Good Friday. But we're going to have readings and songs and place ourselves in the story. So we invite you to follow along with the liturgy booklet that you have. If you don't have a liturgy booklet with you, they are in the back if you'd like to go and grab one of those. And then there is a response here at the beginning, and there will also be a response at the end of each reading. And then there's also lyrics to the songs in there as well. And then I want to tell you about the end of our gathering. If you've never participated in a service like this before, our gathering will end abruptly. So there will be no dismissal. There'll be no benediction. We end in darkness. So it will end rather abruptly. So the music will stop and all of the lights will go out. You can stay in this room and reflect as long as you want to, but it's at that point that you are welcome to go into the night if you would like to do that as well. So let's begin together with this opening prayer. The light has come into the world, and the world loved darkness rather than light. God sent the Son into the world, not to condemn the world, but that the world might be saved. This Good Friday, we join our voices to the words of Jesus on the cross and the cry of all who are abandoned. My God, why have you forsaken me? Before we race quickly with the triumphant answer or the desire to set things right, we need to stand alongside this ancient cry of abandonment. So today we place ourselves with all those who cry out for food and justice, for work and healing, for hope and love, for faith and meaning. We hear their pain and the pain of Jesus Christ. And because we know that in 2 days we will be back, celebrating and singing, do not let us deny the suffering of Christ and of this world. Today we cry out, O God, our God, we cry out to you, do not forsake us.
If you could stand for this first song, it will be responsive, so I will sing each line, and then you will sing them back to me, followed by McKenna. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. Kyrie eleison, Lord Jesus Christ. Kyrie eleison, Lord Jesus Christ. Have mercy on me, a sinner. Have mercy on me, a sinner. You may be seated.
Now the Passover and the festival of the unleavened bread were only 2 days away, and the chief priests and the teachers of the law were scheming to arrest Jesus secretly and kill him. But not during the festival, they said, or the people may riot. While he was in Bethany, reclining at the table in the home of Simon the leper, a woman came with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume made of pure nard. She broke the jar and poured the perfume on his head. Some of those present were saying indignantly to one another, "Why this waste of perfume? It could have been sold for more than a year's wages and the money given to the poor. And they rebuked her harshly. "Leave her alone," said Jesus. "Why are you bothering her? She has done a beautiful thing to me. The poor you will always have with you, and you can help them any time you want. But you will not always have me." She did what she could. She poured perfume on my body beforehand to prepare for my burial. Truly, I tell you, wherever the gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her. Then Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, went to the chief priests to betray Jesus to them. They were delighted to hear this and promised to give him money. So he watched for an opportunity to hand him over. God showed his love for us in this: Christ died for us. Thanks be to God.
Let's meditate on what we just heard through this song. Singing together. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life.
"You will all fall away," Jesus told them. "For it is written, I will strike the shepherd and the sheep will be scattered. But after I have risen, I will go ahead of you into Galilee." Peter declared, "Even if all fall away, I will not." "Truly, I tell you," Jesus answered, "today, yes, tonight, before the rooster crows twice, you yourself will disown me 3 times. But Peter insisted emphatically, "Even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you." And all the others said the same. They went to a place called Gethsemane, and Jesus said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to be deeply distressed and troubled. "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death," he said to them. "Stay here and keep watch." Going a little farther, he fell to the ground and prayed that, if possible, the hour might pass from him. "Abba, Father," he said, "everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me. Yet not what I will, but what you will." Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. "Simon," he said to Peter, "are you asleep? Couldn't you keep watch for 1 hour? Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. God showed his love for us in this: Christ died for us. Thanks be to God.
Singing together. Stay with me.
Remain here with me. Watch and pray. Watch and pray. Stay with me. Remain here with me. Watch and pray. Watch and pray. Stay with me. Remain here with me. Watch and pray. Watch and pray. Stay with me, remain here with me. Watch and pray. Watch and pray. Stay with me, remain here with me. Watch and pray. Watch and pray.
Once more he went away and prayed the same thing. When he came back, he again found them sleeping, because their eyes were heavy. They did not know what to say to him. Returning the third time, he said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Enough. The hour has come. Look, the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer." Just as he was speaking, Judas, one of the 12, appeared. With him was a crowd armed with swords and clubs, sent from the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them. "The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him and lead him away under guard." Going at once to Jesus, Judas said, "Rabbi," and kissed him. The men seized Jesus and arrested him. Then one of those standing near drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear. "Am I leading a rebellion," said Jesus, "that you have come out with swords and clubs to capture me? Every day I was with you, teaching in the temple courts, and you did not arrest me."
They took Jesus to the high priest, and all the chief priests, the elders, and the teachers of the law came together. Peter followed him at a distance, right into the courtyard of the high priest. There he sat with the guards and warmed himself at the fire. The chief priest and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for evidence against Jesus, so that they could put him to death, but they did not find any. Many testified falsely against him, but their statements did not agree. Then some stood up and gave this false testimony against him. We heard him say, I will destroy this temple made with human hands, and in 3 days will build another not made with hands. Yet even then, their testimony did not agree. Then the high priest stood up before them and asked Jesus, Are you not going to answer? What is this testimony that these men are bringing against you? But Jesus remained silent and gave no answer. Again the high priest asked him, Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One? I am, said Jesus. And you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven. The high priest tore his clothes. Why do we need any more witnesses? He asked. You have heard the blasphemy. What do you think? They all condemned him as worthy of death. Then some began to spit at him. They blindfolded him, struck him with their fists, and said, Prophesy. And the guards took him and beat him. God showed his love for us in this: Christ died for us. Thanks be to God.
Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him. "You also were with Jesus of Galilee," she said. But he denied it before them all. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said. Then he went out to the gateway where another servant girl saw him and said to the people there, "This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth." He denied it again with an oath. "I don't know the man." After a little while, those standing there went up to Peter and said, "Surely you are one of them. Your accent gives you away." Then he began to call down curses, and he swore to them, "I don't know the man." Immediately, a rooster crowed. Then Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken, "Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." And he went outside and wept bitterly. God showed his love for us in this: Christ died for us.
But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowd to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus executed. "Which of the 2 do you want me to release to you?" asked the governor. "Barabbas," they answered. "What shall I do then with Jesus who is called the Messiah?" Pilate asked. They all answered, "Crucify him." "Why? What crime has he committed?" asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, "Crucify him!" When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that instead an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd. "I am innocent of this man's blood," he said. "It is your responsibility." All the people answered, "His blood is on us and our children." Then he released Barabbas to them, but he had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand. Then they knelt in front of him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews," they said. They spit on him and took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. God showed his love for us in this: Christ died for us. Thanks be to God.
Go to darkest Gethsemane, feel the tempter's power. Your Redeemer's conflict see, watch with him 1 hour. Turn not from his griefs away, oh, turn not from his griefs. Learn of Jesus Christ to pray, oh, turn not from his griefs.
A certain man from Cyrene, Simon, the father of Alexander and Rufus, was passing by on his way in from the country, and they forced him to carry the cross. They brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. Then they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it, and they crucified him. Dividing up his clothes, they cast lots to see what each would get. It was 9 a.m. when they crucified him. The written notice of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." They crucified 2 rebels with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "So, you who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, come down from the cross and save yourself." In the same way, the chief priests and the teachers of the law mocked him among themselves. "He saved others," they said, "but he can't save himself. Let this Messiah, this King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe." Those crucified with him also heaped insults on him. At noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. And at 3 p.m, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of those standing near heard this, they said, "Listen, he's calling Elijah." Someone ran, filled a sponge with wine vinegar, put it on a staff, and offered it to Jesus to drink. "Now leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes to take him down," he said. With a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last breath. God showed his love for us in this: Christ died for us.
Calvary's mournful mountain climb, adoring at his feet. Mark that miracle of time, God's sacrifice complete. It is finished, hear him cry, oh, it is finished, done. Learn of Jesus Christ to die, oh, it is finished, done. Oh, it is finished, hear him cry, oh, it is finished, done. Learn of Jesus Christ to die, oh, it is finished, done.
Later, Joseph of Arimathea asked Pilate for the body of Jesus. Now, Joseph was a disciple of Jesus, but secretly, because he feared the Jewish leaders. With Pilate's permission, he came and took the body away. He was accompanied by Nicodemus, the man who earlier had visited Jesus at night. Nicodemus brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 75 pounds. Taking Jesus' body, the two of them wrapped it with the spices in strips of linen. This was in accordance with Jewish burial customs. At the place where Jesus was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden, a new tomb in which no one had ever been laid. Because it was the Jewish day of preparation, and since the tomb was nearby, they laid Jesus there.